turn the lights on, please. And that is Reverend Doug Craig is going to come. And Doug came here in 1988 to Red Deer as a brand new minister and started our church. So I don't just want a little bit of hand clapping. I want everybody to stand if you can, 'cause this church wouldn't be here without Reverend Doug.
Oh, thank you, Therese. Oh, great. Woo-wee. And I didn't even pay her for that. Yeah. Don't mind me, I'll just get this a little straight here. That's what this is all about, you know. It's learning and making the next step. So when do you stop making the next step? Did you ever ask that yourself, that? Well, you don't. When you stop reading. That's it, yeah. Or when you know everything. That's why we're going to be here for a while. Just want to give you a little update about what I got here, and I got some stuff in the back. We did yesterday was the debut of my new business and my new company with my new people that are being trained and working in it. And my new partner was there, AJ, and he's going to be up here doing some stuff. And so is my new lead guide, Allison, which you're going to hear from later. And I've got a bunch of upcoming events that we're going to be doing, one-day events, 8-week programs, live on Zoom. And so my business is called The Transformation Guide, and the program we present is Freedom to Transform. And that's a compilation of my lifelong work that I did for the first 11 years of my journey, and I've been using it for 36 years now. Got tangled up with this young man, AJ, who's 35, and he talked me into taking it out to the world, which I don't know how to do. I don't have a clue. But I'm a master teacher and instructor, so I put together programs and courses, 31 years at SAIT and all that. And AJ is a digital marketing expert and right in line with the program. So we got the upcoming events out there, and that's that aspect. And this next week, I'm working in an isolated area in Canmore for a week. I know it's tough, but somebody's got to do it. And I'm working on the post-production of my documentary. I got all the filming done, the original, and I'm going to take and put the pieces in, and I got a junior editor working with me. And then the book's in progress, so we'll have all of that going. The documentary's Outhouse to the Penthouse. And the book will be I Was a Prisoner of My Own Mind, so all of that will be early to be debuting totally with all the components, like the program's got a digital textbook, digital workbook, a 8-week lesson plan, and we'll have 20 instructional videos that all go with that package on our website. Interesting, eh? And my goal is to live long enough to see it all done, and so I can have a few woohoos on it. But yeah, I know. You know, only the good die young, so I've got a long way to go. But anyhow, just a little thing to let you know about that and how important it is to never stop moving forward, because it is just so interesting. And the company or organization I'm building, primarily my accounting person I'm courting is in his late 20s, my editor's in her mid-20s, my partner's in his mid-30s, and my international expert in not-for-profit and that, she's in her mid-30s. Do you hear a trend there? So I'm building my company. Allison's a little older, and a couple of the other people, like my daughter and that, they're 50. But mostly I'm trying to build it around that age group between 35 to 45. Well, and not only that, that's the market for this. This really where you got the core, where those people could be really influential to make major changes in the world. It's good for people younger and older, but that's the core. And of course, I'm a way outside that target market. But the point of the matter is, by doing it this way, my goal is to create something that was given to me that took me out of 17 years of crime, violence, drugs, gangs, and all that crap into being this great experience, and to be able to leave it. And that's my legacy, and that's how I'm constructing and building my business. So if you're interested in all about that and the works, have a look at the upcoming events, albeit all of them, assisting because I'm in the training progress. And it's a slow thing because, you know, if you're going to sail a ship, you don't build the ship while you're sailing it. You get the ship built first. Jesus called upon Peter, upon this rock I will build my church, which he never did. The church was the person. Peter in Greek is Petros, rock solid. So he built the individual upon faith. And that's what you do. And faith can do some of the most incredible things if you're willing to walk in the light and stay out of your stupidness. Anyhow, that's my commercial. Whee! Okay, so please join me right now, and let's just take a moment to go within. And just relax. Bring the mind to the body, to the here and now. Mind asks body to relax. The body's willing and responds. The two together to relax and just let go of the tension or stress. Let go of what the morning had and what the afternoon has. Because really the point of power in your life is always in the present moment. And so now is the only time that we ever have in life. Because it's always now. And in this one life, there is that one power, one source, one truth. No matter what you want to call it. It's universal, everywhere present, part of you, part of me, and giving us the ability to express our uniqueness in our own and special way. And so, take a few moments right now and just give yourself permission to look at your uniqueness. What is unique about me? Not compared to anybody or anything else, but what is it that I do that I love doing, that resonates, that makes me feel good? That's that special gift that I do better than anything else that I do. And get into that space and just enjoy that special you for a few moments. And know that as you take that uniqueness that you are into everything that you do, things that don't give you that opportunity will begin to fall away from your life. And that which replaces them will be even more able for you to be able to give and do what it is that makes your heart sing and resonate. A lot of people may say, oh, you can't make a living at it. Wrong. You can. It just takes time, belief, patience, and effort. And then everything you do can be in that space. There is a way. The way is found through inner reflection, perspection, and taking action in the outer world. So as we go forward into today's session, let's do so with an opening mind, knowing that a lot of little ideas are going to be presented, but I latch on to the one that when I walk into a dark room, turn on the light, please. And it's the one that turns on the light for me and for you. So I know it's happening. I give thanks for it, and I let it be so. And so it is. Turn on the light, please. You know, I remember when I first started in this journey 46 years ago, I heard all these people talking, you know, find what you love to do and do that, and the money will follow. Anybody ever heard that? I went, oh, yeah, sure. Easy for you to say. But you know what? It's true. Does it happen overnight? Absolutely not. You have to begin to cultivate it and acknowledge that what you do is special and not to put yourself down for all the things you can't do. Don't ask me how to fix anything. Something goes in the house, landlord doesn't talk to me, landlord talks to my Anna, because I don't get it. I got a motorcycle I love riding, and it's just a beauty, and it goes fast. And my best buddy likes to make sure his friends are safe, so he looks after it. I could check the dipstick in the oil and that, and I've been riding them for 50 years, but I don't do that. I'm not good at it. So, do you know what you're not good at? Yeah, well, you know what? Find a way not to do it and gradually shift everything over to what you're good at. And as you do that, and even finding the crappy thing that you're doing now that you don't want to do anymore, find out where that goodness is in that crappy thing, and then it'll fold away and something will come to replace it that's just a bit better. You'll know how well you're doing. I do not do anything that I'm not good at and I don't like. That means if you got a Sunday service, you got a class, you got a funeral, you got major problems, you got chaos and confusion in your life, call me. No matter how bad it is, I can work with that. With that other stuff that you can do, don't ask, please. Get somebody that resonates. I got people that love to do all the things I can't do. And I ask them. And they don't look at me like I'm dumb. Even though sometimes I feel that way. You do? Got to get over that. It's not that you're dumb. It's you're smart. Not dumb. You see, that's the first point. It all depends on how you look at it. I'm not dumb because I can't do that. I'm smart to know that I'm not good at it, and I'm going to get somebody that is to do it, and I'm going to do what I do good. You wouldn't believe the fun I have being Santa. Reverend Doug, Professor Doug, and Mountain Man Doug with my tour guiding in the Rockies. I love it. Huh. But it takes time, patience, and you got to believe in yourself. It's really hard to believe in yourself when you can't do all these other things people do, but what you do is you kind of put on the back burner, oh, any fool could do that. I thought anybody could do this kind of stuff, what I'm doing. No, a lot of people rather die. I'd rather die than take something back that I bought to the store. By the way, I don't do that. My wife does. I have a problem with it. If it's a knife fight, a gun fight, or anything like that, no problem. I can deal with that. But taking something back to the store, I have a problem with it. Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's ridiculous or not. It's the truth. And I don't like it, so I compensate for it and get in. Oh, you should face your fear. Hell, I'd rather face other fears and go somewhere than taking that back to the store. Okay, so don't ever sell yourself short. It's always about how you look at something. And if you change how you look, it could take on a different perspective. Do that. Because it doesn't matter what it is. Look at it to see if you could see another side to the story about what might happen. And you could see there's a lot of different ways you could look at the same thing, and all of them are possible, but there's only one thing of that matters. That's the one you say, yep, that's it, and you walk away with. Whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. When you walk away with it, that's your perception. That's what you believe is true. And whether it is or not, it doesn't matter. And you know what that means? One of my favorite things. You're going to like this. You always get to be right. Always. Somebody, that's not true. I like being wrong sometimes. I said, yeah, you like to be right about being wrong, don't you? It don't matter what argument or anything you come up with. Ultimately, when you see something and decide that's what's right for you about it, it don't matter. So that's not the question you ever ask, whether you're going to be right or not, because you are. The question you ask is, what do I want to be right about? Another way, I had a lady that is a really good student of mine and really beautiful lady, powerful business person. Really good. Built a tremendous business, trained her boys how to be the business and run it, and they took it and built it higher. Come time that mom's got to sell to the boys. And she's in negotiation. She comes to see me, and she's pissed. What's the problem? Well, these guys are my sons. They're my sons, and you wouldn't believe the hard time they're giving me in this business deal. We're trying to negotiate selling it to them, and they're giving me the hard time. Blah, 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 blah. This is true, by the way. Oh, is that right? You built a pretty successful business, haven't you? And you trained your boys very well. Look what they've done. Yeah. So why in the hell are you bitching about it, sorry about the language, when you taught them to be good businessmen and that's what they're doing? You should be proud of what they're doing, not angry with them. You should have seen the person that walked out of that room with a glow on her, because she realized that was true. She taught these guys how to be business people, how to negotiate, how to be successful, and they're doing it with her, and she didn't like it. So instead of being angry with them, she walked out of the office glowing with pride, and they negotiated, knocked back and forth, but they got it done. Do you see how important it is, no matter what you're doing, no matter in a conflict or anything, always to try and step back and see the other perspective? Not that you have to change yours, but when you're willing to do that, then you're a bigger person and you can have more power in this situation to get to compromise. That was the toughest thing for me to learn in my life after 17 years of the other side, because I knew how to get it done. If you don't do it my way, we're going to talk. There's a lot of different ways we can discuss this. So I always liked to get what I wanted, and I did by hook, crook, and a lot of other means. When I got into this, I couldn't do it that way anymore because it wasn't proper. So I had to learn compromise. Took a while, but I did really good at it. So you've got to learn other ways of doing things. And in order to do that, you have to look at other ways of seeing things. And it doesn't mean when you do that you have to agree with any of it. It just gives you deeper perspective when you're moving forward in all kinds of situations to be able to look at things differently other than your initial perception, because God only knows where that might be coming from. Could be coming from a bad spot, okay? So it's all about how you look at things. And I'm going to give you a bunch of little of my favorite ditties, because at the end of that I got Turn on the Light. A quote from a therapist: "You're not healing to be able to handle trauma, pain, and anxiety. You're used to those." True? Yeah. You are healing so you can finally learn how to survive joy and to allow happiness to stay. Turn on the light. Do you see, look at that differently? Healing? I come across that and I go, I like that. I'm going to keep that around to read every time I'm going through stuff. Okay? One of my favorite ones is, this is a really good one. everybody does it. And it's so good because it's really true. It's just a true lie, because there's another side. I always say that people allow their lesser fear to justify what their greater fear is. So, for example, one of the ones that's favored is someone moving into a new relationship and risking doing it differently, like a lady asking a man out. And what's the matter, dear? Well, I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? Oh, that he'll say no, or he'll reject me. Does that sound familiar, by the way? And this is the other reason why I'm afraid and all of that. And I go and I do the work and I said, well, have you ever risked and been rejected before like that? Yeah. Have you ever risked and had that happen in this situation? Yeah. Did you know how to handle it? Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Maybe that's not what you're afraid of. Maybe what you're afraid of is that he's going to say yes. Then what are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do right now if he says yes? What are you going to do? And you know what they always say? I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But you can tell by the, well, if he says yes, holy crap, I'm into a new thing and it's going to be tough. Try it on next time you're doing that because you're afraid of something. You're afraid of being rejected or any of that stuff. Try it. And then ask yourself, well, what if the answer is the other side? Then what? You see the fear amp up a little bit there, folks. Guaranteed. Okay? So keep that in mind. We always allow our lesser fear to justify our greater fear. Okay. Ooh. You cannot live a choiceless life. You can't do it. Well, I decided not to make any decisions today. Well, you chose to do that. I got the greatest inspiration from this. If you ever want to read a book, it's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, who spent 4 years in Auschwitz, a Jewish psychiatrist. He said, paraphrased, they could torture me, starve me, beat me, control everything I did. They could kill me, but they could not take away the freedom I had to choose how I responded to what they did. Eric Butterworth on page 76 of Spiritual Economics, paraphrase, says, if we would look only within ourselves, we would find our most important asset is our inner world of mind and emotion, because that we can control. And for the one that can able to do that, the greatest rewards are available. Can't control anything else, but that's in our mastery. Turn on the light. The father cat says to his son, son, be decisive in life. The son cat says, why is that, father? He said, the road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. Turn on the light. And then, of course, you got to give yourself a break because, bottom line, everything we do and say and think is saying one of two things to ourselves. It's either self-acceptance or we're in self-rejection. That's the line we walk. And who we are is okay. Yeah, you ever heard of Steve Jobs? Apple? He said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. And the most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Turn on the light. Just what we do when we walk into a dark room. Turn on the light. Each one of these are meant to maybe turn on the light. Anybody got a light turned on yet at all this morning? One in the hallway. Yeah. Okay. And I got this to end up with. I got 7 quickies from Doug's favorites on my little video list that I'm doing these days. I like these ones. And maybe one of these will turn on the light. You can't have a breakthrough until you have a breakdown. Well, that's terrible. I want it with ease and joy. That's the ease and joy part. The tough part is when you resist that. Because in order to have something new in your life, the old has to be broken down and released. Just ask the butterfly what it had to do. The breakdown and the release. Anytime you go through any kinds of change, or what we teach, transformation, the old has to go. Whether it be a good old, a bad old, an ugly old, or a fantastic old, it has to go in order to step into the new. Devastating for me, leaving Calgary in '88, moving to Red Deer to start the center. I've been a season ticket holder for the Stamps for 19 years, and I had to let it go. Devastating, one of the hardest things I had to deal with moving to Red Deer. Never mind getting divorced and selling the house and leaving my career as a professor. Oh, that was easier, but giving up my season tickets? And you're probably going, what the hell is that a big deal over? Well, you see, the letting go part and the breakdown is how much attachment that we've had to whatever it is that's got to go. You're probably saying, is that why it's hard to give up an old habit? Because we've got an attachment to it. Who in the hell would have an attachment to that? Obviously I do if I got a problem with it. Well, I don't have an attachment. Well, then stop. Just think about it. Every new beginning comes from another beginning's end. Same thing. I got a new beginning here. I do it for well. It's over. I start a new one. So it's always like that. And the one thing about life you can be guaranteed 100% is, no, not death and taxes, because we don't believe in both of those. It's that process of new beginnings and the completion of other new beginnings. Everyone has dreams. Few have daily action plans. And it doesn't matter, well, I'll get started someday on it. No, you get started today, because someday never comes. And when someday never comes, you're in I wish I would have land. Anybody ever done that? You don't want to say someday and I wish I would have. If you ain't going to do it, get it off the list. Put something on there that's important. Not like I did with a couple of mines that I lived, but that's another story. Okay, are you ready for this? If you don't like what you're getting, look at what you're giving. Well, I didn't give anybody anything like that. I didn't say you had to hand it to them, but what were you thinking? Because thoughts are giving too, and they count. It's called the law of attraction. And just because you're getting crap doesn't mean you gave the same kind of crap. You could have given the crap another way, and you're just getting it in a new, fresh way. Bottom line, when you look at it, the source of the crap is all because of the same reason, what I'm giving. That one is a tough one, folks. But I know it's true because you wouldn't believe what I've given and what I got in the past. So I wouldn't want to talk about that. Give yourself a checkup from the neck up and from the crown down. Every morning when you start up, Because you might as well do it and see how it's going, because that's going to set the tone for the day. If you don't like it, you can start right there to change it. Check up from the neck up and look at from the crown down. Oh, I love this one. It's Plato. It's only 2,500 years old, but it might be relevant. A grateful mind is a great mind which eventually attracts to itself grateful things, great things. Did you get up this morning and use the washroom? How many people were grateful for toilet paper today? Anybody think about it? Very few do. When you're out in the bush on a mountaineering project for 21 days, 18 on the glaciers and snow, and you don't carry any soap, dish towels, or extra clothes or nothing, and no toilet paper. 21 days, no shower, no toilet paper. When I got home and I went to the bathroom that first time, I had never been so grateful for toilet paper in my life. It's funny when you're deprived of something, you're useful, and you get it, you're always grateful. Can you imagine? Just imagine this. Visualize what it would be like not having a drink of water for 25 days. Can you imagine what that's like? That's what happened to me when I had my thing. I didn't have a glass of water, was not allowed to, for 25 days. And you know, when I had the surgery, this is an interesting story, because you know what the major thing was when I was done? When I was allowed to drink water? True story. When I passed gas. And my grandchildren think, that's not going to be a problem for Papa. I didn't think so too, because I was pretty good at passing gas. Don't want to go into it, but 2 days I'm going around trying and nothing. Then one day I'm walking down the hall doing my laps and rip right to the nurse's station to get a glass of water and some broth, because that was the first thing I ate in 25 days too. You get grateful. Do you know how good that tasted? Better than anything I believe I've ever had in my life. Just a glass of water. And it wasn't even filtered. And the last one here is really a good one. I like this. Not all storms that happen come to disrupt your life. Some storms come to clear your path. I got lots of good ones on that one, because I hit some pretty good storms, and it just opened up the path if you do it the right way. So the idea here today was turn on the light. Walk into a dark room, you turn on the light. Automatic. So now after a while, when you get these with that stuff, for me, working with it all the time, over the years, it's just kind of automatic. I turn on the light. Does that mean I don't get stupid? No. I'm still really good at that. We all do that. Because you see, if we didn't and evolve to that state, there would be no need for us to be here anymore. Then we move on to the next part of our journey. Anybody ever interested about that? Maybe I'll do the talk up here that I'm going to do in Calgary, because this kind of thing come to me. It's called The Paradox of Transitions and Reflections. Does that sound interesting? Well, turn on the light. It's coming soon. Thank you, everyone, and please, hopefully this will give you something that you could use day to day. There's a lot of good tips. Get this stuff. You could write them down on YouTube, and I guarantee if you work with that, simple little things, it's easy. Everybody, the girls got some of that too, I'll bet. It's very simple. That's what I like. I use the KISS system. Keep it simple, sweetheart. You see? It all depends on how you look at it, doesn't it? I'll bet you some of you weren't quite looking at it the way I said it. And so it is.